So I have a lot of microphones. This is completely different from what I would normally do, but I want to talk about microphones because I have a lot of them and I really like them. And I think this might be interesting for someone else who likes microphones for some irrational reason, like I do. So this one right here is my personal favorite. I've been using this one since I got it, like 3 or 4 months ago. Um, Technical difficulties. Okay, I think we're good. Stop. Good. All right. So anyway, as I was saying, I got this since I've been using this basically exclusively since I got it. This is my favorite microphone by far. I love how it sounds. I love the profile. It has an extremely low noise floor, and I have it plugged into a Scarlett 2i2. Actually, this one's a solo. The 2i2 is basically the same. It just has an extra port. Um, the first thing you should do if you want a better audio setup. Oh, I have peelies. We gotta savor the peelies, guys. Watch. I didn't realize. Oh, I got it. That's nice. I don't know. I didn't know that was on there. This was the first interface. There's one on the front too. Why haven't I taken this off? Look. Oh, it's so nice. We get it. Oh, nice. All right. Anyway, this was the first interface I got, aside from a crappy USB one. This one. I think this was my first one. No, this is like my third one because two of them broke on me. And I'm pretty sure this one's broken and doesn't work anymore. This has an insanely high background noise. It's awful. Don't use USB ones like this. Get a proper interface. Of course, this plugs in via USB. Right there. It's a C. It's a C to A, so you just plug it into your computer. Works just like any other sound card, except it's external, and it's really, really good. Scarletts are amazing for the price. You could probably get a cheaper one. I don't know about quality, but because I've just been using a Scarlett 2i2 and it's perfect. However, this is not even the first neat microphone that I had, and it's definitely not the microphone that I started with. So I'm gonna go over to the microphone that I started with. So I have two here. I have the BM700, which was actually the very first microphone I ever got. I think I ended up replacing it. No, this is the very first one. An Excelvin BM700. And you can see a little scratch there. I actually got that because I was trying to use a clothes hanger as like as a mic stand. But this one is broken, I think. I guess I can see if it'll work. Hold on. I'm so sorry about that. That's so loud. I'm so sorry about that. If I put any of that in, that was awful. That was painful. I'm not going to attach each microphone to the boom arm. It's unnecessary. Plus, I'd have to go get a different shock mount. I'm so sorry if I put any of that in. This one is so much worse than the King Bee, of course. Now, this is just a $20 microphone that I got off Amazon. This sounds basically the same as the 700. This one actually, I think, requires just a tiny bit more power. Of course, I'm using Phantom power, the 48 volt, because it comes directly from the 2i2. Again, the Solo also has that. It's a great interface. Otherwise, you'd have to use one of these if you have a condenser, or actually I think you need it if you're using a dynamic with an amp. So this one's just like a crappy $20 one I got off Amazon, but I mean, it does the job. But now that I actually have an interface with 48 volt, I should stop talking to this one. This one's really bad. This one is the Behringer C1. This is a really, really good microphone for the price. This one's like 30 bucks. So just a little, or I think it's 40 bucks MSRP. Just a little bit more than the BM700 or 800. I mean, they're basically the same price. So if you're going to get a cheap microphone, get a good interface like a Solo, or even one of those $40 ones that look like a Solo that you can find on Amazon, and get a Behringer C1. These microphones are really, really good for the price. I really like this microphone. It has a very nice sound profile to it. I like the way it makes my voice sound. That's why I'm actually using the King Bee too, because I think it's like this one, but just a bit better, in my opinion, of course. Now, some people might actually prefer this one. Some people might prefer, one of the other 4 or 5 microphones that I have. but it really just depends on your voice and what kind of quality you want. Like this one, I think is really, really good for talking, but it's not as good for like say singing. Then you'd want a dynamic. I actually have a couple others, a couple dynamics there that I'm kind of putting off because I have to plug in my. I got a what's it called? A Fathead amp, and this one actually have two of them because I got this one. No, I had two of them because I got the 2i2 because I wanted to be able to record with people, so I got two of them, and both of them have really loose connections, and I don't know if that's my fault or if it's because Fathead. I don't have a Dynamite. I might actually get a Dynamite amp and see if it's better connection wise. I know Cloudlifter, I believe, is also a good one. Though that might be a Phantom. I think they have Phantom and amps. Anyway, so I only have a Fathead because amps are stupidly expensive. Like this thing was $100, which is more expensive than this microphone and a lot more expensive than some of those other microphones. I have one more condenser that I want to show you guys because I was using it for a very long time and I like it a lot. So this right here is a Neat Worker Bee. This is the original Worker Bee. They're not selling it anymore. I don't believe they're selling the Worker Bee 2 either. They might be selling this one. I really like this one aesthetically. I also really like how it sounds. Again, it's just the King Bee 2 but worse. The King Bee 1 looked like this, but it was taller, and that was pretty much the only aesthetic difference. And I really liked it. And I really wanted a King Bee, but they don't have it. I really just wanted it for the aesthetics. But the King Bee 2 is the King Bee 1, but with a lower noise floor, so it's just objectively better. I should probably explain what a condenser microphone is. So on the inside of this, there's the diaphragm, and the diaphragm will move back and forth as you're talking, as air or sound waves hit it. And that's why blowing into a microphone produces a really bad sound, because it violently moves the diaphragm back and forth. And then it converts that into an electrical signal, but the condensers actually have a circuit in it to boost the volume so that you don't need an amp. So if you're just doing like, podcasts or video essay YouTube videos, or even streaming commentary over gameplay videos, you're going to want a condenser essentially, just because they're a lot more compact. They're a lot easier to use, especially so you don't have to buy an amp. And every single microphone I have, except for one maybe, are all cardioid patterns. So basically, the more in front of the microphone you are, the better or the louder it's going to be. As you move around, like there's almost no sound that gets in from the back, and that's good because you don't want like your computer fans getting into the microphone, that sort of thing. I guess now I should move to the dynamics. So this is the most expensive microphone I have. I do really like how it sounds. I don't have either of the switches on the back enabled, but those will change the sound profile. This is the most expensive microphone I have by far. This one is $400. I do really want what's it called? I do really want a CAD microphone. I believe E300, I think is what they're on. I really want one of those, but they're so expensive. It's like $300. And of course this one is more, but when I got this, I was just getting into microphones, so I didn't have like $2,000 worth of microphone equipment. And it's a lot harder to justify dropping $300 on a microphone, especially when I already have one over there that I really, really like. But I do still want one just because it's that different sound profile, and having options is just really nice for me. Anyway, this is probably the most popular voiceover microphone, not voiceover, but like podcast microphone you're going to find. A lot of people have it. Rumi used it for a long time. Philip DeFranco uses it. A lot of people who do voiceovers for like YouTube videos have the SM7B just because of its versatility. It is, of course, a dynamic, and it requires an amp. Well, it doesn't require an amp, because what dynamics do is they directly send out the signal instead of having an amplification circuit in them like a condenser. It'll directly send that. So if you don't have an amp, it'll be much quieter. So you'll have to bring the boost way up, which will introduce background noise. But if you have an amp, you don't need your volume higher. I've left the volume the exact same for all of these microphones, so you can get an idea of and they're all about 6 inches, 4 to 6 inches from my face. So you can get an idea of the volume if you want to buy any of these. Again, if you're going budget, my recommendation by far is the Behringer C1. And then the Neat King B2 is only about $200. Though if you do like the sound profile of any of them, they're all good microphones except the BM800 and a couple other ones that I'm going to show you in a minute. So let's move on to the next one. This is a Shure SM57. This is probably the most popular stage microphone you're going to find, if not the SM58, which is the one with like the ball on top. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about with the connection issues with my amp. I'm not sure if you can hear that. I'm not monitoring my... Oh, that's much louder. So this one is a very, very good dynamic microphone, especially for like stage performances, or if you want to put this in front of like a guitar amp. This is a really good way to do that. This is a really good way to record instruments in general. This is a really good way to record singing. This is one of my favorite microphones as well. This definitely tops the 7B in terms of quality for me. It's not even build quality, I mean like sound quality. It has a really low noise floor as well, though it is a lot louder than the 7B, which can be nice if you don't have an amp or if your noise floor is really high on your sound card. Though if it is, instead of getting a new microphone, you should really upgrade your sound card. For the price of this, you can get a Solo. Maybe you might need to get it on sale, but it's seriously, upgrade your sound card before the microphone, no question. And now we're going to move into the funny microphones. The most expensive one over there was $20. And then I have a $5 one that I got from Goodwill because I thought it would be funny. And then I got a $10 one that I got off of Amazon because I thought it would be funny. So let's move over to those. Okay, so this is a $20 microphone that I got from a thrift store. Looking online, it was about $30. It is a NewTek MC0308. I'll bring down the volume of that in post. That's the amp's fault, not necessarily the microphones. It might be the microphones. It's probably the microphones. But this thing is not good. It's also a dynamic, which means you need the amp. And the amp is $100 on its own. Get a good condenser. If you're not going budget, the SM7 or SM57 with the with a good amp is a really good option, especially if you're a singer or an instrumentalist. I've heard drum recordings that sounded really good with the 57. It's used for most stage performances. It's only $100, which is a quarter of the price of the 57, and I actually prefer it to the 57. Sorry, the 7B, not the 57. This one's funny. Also, it sounds like this when you get close to it, which is hilarious. And of course, you have the $5 Goodwill microphone. Oh god, the $5 Goodwill microphone. I wish it would stop doing that. I really like this one. This one's one of my favorite microphones because when you get really close to it, notice that I'm not very close, or I'm really close to it, and it sounds bad, but kind of normal. But as soon as my lips touch it, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Also, so the last microphone I have over there is a USB microphone, so I'm going to have to, well, you won't notice anything, but it will be different. I was actually using the USB cord to hold my camera up, so I actually have to hold a camera for this one. So this one, I'm actually really impressed with this microphone because it doesn't sound bad, and I mean it's a desktop microphone, so you're not gonna be able to use a boom arm with it or whatever. This thing was $10. This sounds really good for $10, and I'm not upset at myself for spending $700 on a good audio setup, and then hundreds of more on a bunch more microphones because I like microphones. It is a genuine hobby of mine. I like having the variety. But if you're just like a budding, or you're just starting creating content, or you want to start streaming and you want to get into it with a low price point, you already have a good computer. You don't need a webcam. You just need a good microphone, really. And this is a great great starting microphone, which is really weird. I actually ordered a 3.5 millimeter version, and I got a USB version, but it's whatever. I also have a lapel mic somewhere, but I don't know where it's at. It's probably somewhere in the mess of cords beneath me. But anyway, thanks for listening to me indulge in my hobbies. I don't know. I just thought this would be a fun video to make. I really like microphones. I hope other people like microphones. I hope people who like microphones will enjoy this video. And of course, I mostly like microphones because I like making YouTube videos. I enjoy making content. And this is a great way to increase your content quality and also to give variety. Because for instance, if I want to do singing, I can use my 57 or my 7B. Or if I want to do something really loud, I can use my 7B. If I want a good audio, like just, chill talking, I can use my King B2 or, my 7B. 7B is actually really versatile. I don't know why I'm still talking into this one. Hold on. The 7B is really versatile, but I don't like how it sounds as much as, the King B. But there are situations where it works really well. And for $400, it better. And of course, I have a 2i2 so I can record with people, which I actually haven't done that often. I've done it with Anthony a couple times, but we haven't uploaded anything from that. But just a solo and the Behringer C1. That's a great starter setup if you don't like the way that USB microphone sounds. And that way you can actually upgrade really easily. I wouldn't recommend going for a more expensive, like higher end USB microphone. I would not recommend like a Yeti or a Snowball. Like even the Snowball's price point, that's only $50, right? But you're not going to be able to upgrade without buying a whole new setup, right? So get an XLR microphone with a good interface and a decent microphone like the C1, and you'll have room to upgrade a lot. Otherwise, you'll have to start from scratch. Anyway, that's it, I guess. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I love you all, and I don't know how to end this.